Hello Taurus, this is Ashley. Welcome. We're going to do your reading for the last week of November. So this will be starting the 22nd of November all the way through to the end of the month. We're going to wrap up November. And with Thanksgiving happening this week in the USA, I'm going to kind of focus this reading on the thing that, well, there's a few things. We're going to look at an area of life that you should be kind of giving yourself some more credit for, something you could reflect on and celebrate that you've accomplished this year. In your second row, we're going to see what your guides, ancestors, angels want to kind of give you a shout out about, because it's something that they've recognized that you accomplished this year. And then in the final row, we're going to see what good is coming your way. So the whole idea of this reading is to kind of zoom in on the good that is happening and is headed in for you before the end of the year. So let's see what's coming in for Taurus. Oh, okay. We have the Creator Fire card. So we will see what tarot goes with all of these. So the reading's a little bit different. I wanted to do something kind of fun to kick off the holiday season. And, you know, we've kind of had a rough couple of years collectively. And we spend so much time focusing on, you know, kind of the next mountain that we're climbing. Thought it would be a good time to focus on and look at what we've accomplished. On the 21st, so the day just before this week started, Sagittarius season also began. So, and Jupiter's all about expansion and happiness and the bigger picture, right? Gratitude, and all those things we have to be thankful for. So let's see what we get for you, Taurus. This Waking the Lion card has come up in this position for, like, I think you're probably the fourth or fifth sign here. We have the Queen of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Hierophant. So there you are. The Ace of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. Holy cow. The Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. Okay. Oh, looky, looky. We have the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like love is coming in, whether you're looking for it or not. So if you're not interested in love, this is probably not your reading. Let's see what it is that you should kind of take some time to recognize in yourself. We have Waking the Lion. Now you could certainly have been dealing with a Leo this year. Right? But more so, this is just about that, like, inner power, you know, really getting ignited within you. And it probably was something that took a lot of courage, right? We'll see if the Strength card pops up for you in your reading. We have the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. I do feel like you're really, you've clearly followed your heart and your intuition to start some sort of new passion project. Could have been a new relationship, but it could I do feel like it's something that you're working to build upon here. Could certainly have been a new job as well. But I feel like the reason why it was different is because it was something that it felt like a calling, like your intuitive side was really, kind of screaming at you to do this. And it's something that you're passionate about here. And it's funny because as soon as I said the reason why I think it's different, and I do feel like it's something that is different, is maybe I want to say almost Aquarian in nature, kind of a little eccentric maybe, something that's not normally accepted or widely accepted at this time. So it could be you started a new project that was a little off the beaten path, right? Let's have a look. With the Queen of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords. So you decided to follow that intuition. There was like a clarity that came with it, and the King of Cups. Interesting. We're going to keep going and we'll talk about that, but we've got a pair here, King and Queen of Cups. The Ace of Wands. We have the Eight of Wands. So a lot of action, and Eight of Pentacles. A lot of action and work put into this. Could have been something you were studying as well. That Eight of Pentacles is, he's trying to perfect his craft here. And so could have been work related, school related, but something that required some diligence, right? With the Three of Pentacles, we have the Four of Cups. So again, to me that feels like that it wasn't something that was widely accepted, right? And the Page of Swords. So I do feel like it's kind of maybe even gained some attention here. For some of you, I'm also getting that you may have had a love situation that perhaps you how do I want to say this? Perhaps you had a soulmate situation that may have ended here because you wanted to move into something that was more passionate, more inspired. I do feel like there was a lot of love here, however. But I feel like somebody here, if that is your story, I feel like somebody here was not participating in some way, like they either didn't want to put in the work, or the relationship itself was kind of taking a different direction than they had expected. And then they kind of, I don't want to say they lost interest, because I do feel like there's a lot of love here, but I feel like it somehow started to go in a direction that they couldn't buy into, or they weren't convinced that it was going to work. And so that could have been a relationship ending for some of you. But I think overall this first row is just talking about, you having stepped into your power and really started to go after something that was, something you were passionate about. You definitely have been putting in a lot of work towards it. And it may have been overwhelming at times, but I do feel like kind of had a lot of movement in that area this year of your life. And again, I'm still getting that message that it was kind of something a little bit different here. You might have even received some criticisms from people outside of you, I guess. Maybe not necessarily like family here, but it's kind of like one of those situations when people ask you what your hobby is or what you do, and you tell them, and they are like, "Oh." It's more what I'm getting there. So, and that took some courage, because it does feel like something that is different enough that it's likely that you would have received a lot of flack about it. Now, your guides are wanting to point out perhaps a soulmate situation here. And so in this row, we're going to talk about, it's kind of a way, I wanted to channel in some messages from your guides so that they have a way to really kind of communicate with you if you are not typically in touch with your own spirit guides or angels or ancestors. And so if there's a message here that they want to bring through, every now and then I like to do something that brings in their commentary, right? We have the Two of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. So I almost feel like this hasn't happened yet. A lot of times this row so far as I've done these readings has been about something you've accomplished in this past year that they want to kind of give you a high five on. To me, I feel like perhaps this hasn't happened yet. And it almost feels like heads up, there's someone coming in here. And I'm saying that, part of what I'm seeing here, you can see the top of this, what looks like a bird cage. There's like the ring that holds the cage up, only it's kind of filled. It looks like a coin. And I feel like you're going to meet someone in the workplace, or even someone that, is financially quite stable. I don't know that you see this coming though. With that Two of Swords, you can see she's blindfolded. And it could also be that when this person arrives, it does feel like someone new here to me. When this person arrives, you might not be super convinced when they first show up that this is even a romantic possibility for you. It's like you don't even see them that way at first. Now that could be because of, just some inner fears that you've had about relationships, but I feel like it's going to happen when you're kind of out there making money, building up your own resources, and you're kind of living your dream here. So you could very well be in a position where you're just kind of independently happy. Could be a Capricorn showing up here. Let's see. But to me, with that Queen of Pentacles showing up, I also feel like whoever it is, there's clearly long-term potential here. And in the future of what's coming, we've got some marriage cards showing up here. So let's see. With the Two of Swords, we have the Two of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So again, I kind of feel like it's going to take a little bit of courage to choose this when it shows up. And it could be someone from a distance here. But I do feel like you meet them where you are. I just feel like they don't live where you live. It could be that you meet them because they're on vacation or they're traveling for work or something along those lines. There's going to be an attraction here, I do feel. Or they're going to find you very attractive. But again, this Queen of Wands to me is Leo energy. And we have that waking the lion. So again, I feel like it's going to be like another thing that requires another step in the direction of your power and your courage in order to accept this. Because you can see in this Close Encounters card, here's you inside the cage, and here's another soulmate that's trying to get into you. And so I kind of feel like you're a little guarded against this, or again, more so the energy, I would say, that you're so busy and focused on what you're doing, and I do feel like it's related to this passion project or work situation, that you don't even look at them like that. It's like you're distracted, if that makes sense. So it's not even so much about fear, and I do feel like that will apply to some of you, but more so, you're just not even thinking about love at this time, I feel like, and that's part of what makes you so attractive, and it draws them in because your focus is somewhere else, if that makes sense. With the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, working on your own money, your own security, and the Eight of Cups. So I do feel like there's a risk here that you might walk away from this situation. And some of you may also be kind of guarded against it. I want to say the word, or the words, preconceived notions. So pay attention to that, because it could just be like a bias that creeps in that you have. So I'm wondering if this person either is from a different culture, or something about the way they look is different. Not that they're not attractive, I just feel like they're not your normal type, maybe. Or the distance of like where they're from, you know, kind of you brush it off because of that. Or there's something about, maybe they even look similar to someone you've been with before, and so you're immediately like, nope. You know what I'm saying? So, so there's like a preconceived notion or a bias that shows up within you. So to me, this almost feels like your guides are kind of trying to tell you that there's a solid opportunity coming your way, but there's a good possibility that you might reject it. And look at this, Nine of Cups gets the Lovers. So I do feel like, and the Chariot. So again, I feel like this could be a really solid soulmate showing up here. They may live at a distance, may actually be a Cancer or a Gemini. And I already said what, Leo, Capricorn. But it could certainly, yeah. So I kind of feel like this is coming in. I don't feel like this has happened yet. Certainly if you're in the throes of this at this time, then, you know, take that as it resonates. But I feel like for the most of you, this is like, hey, heads up, this is coming in, don't miss it. Don't mess it up. Don't be afraid of it, and don't just turn away from it because of distance, or because of this person's race, color, spirituality, religion, or maybe, again, I kind of feel like for some of you, they look like someone you used to be with, and so sometimes that can be like, oh, no, right? In the What Good Is Coming, we have Creator Fire. So I'm going to read from the book on that. Definitely a lot of passion energy showing up for that. Let's see. I was telling the other signs that I've done so far, I've never used this deck, so we're going to take from the book here. Passionate and enthusiastic energies It's present in the zest of impulsivity and spontaneity, and in the spark of new ideas. Its realm is one of quick movement and intense creativity. So we do have this Eight of Wands and the Chariot here. And I do feel like if you were to give this person a chance, the one we were just talking about, I do feel like it's going to move quickly. Says fire also relates to destruction and rebirth and to vital purification. What can your passions and desires teach you about what's yet to come? If there's something that needs to be burned down in order to rise again, and what does your intensity of your creative flame whisper to you right now? And then it kind of talks about like different ways you can interact with fire. You can meditate, do some candle flame meditation. Talks about dancing, kind of working with fire energy. Now we have the Hierophant, which is you. Okay. We also have the Four of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So definitely a long-term commitment here, a spiritual commitment coming in, some sort of union, new love. Let's see if we can get any more details about this. Hierophant, we have the Ten of Swords and the Hierophant. So for some of you, if you're, that soulmate pair here that I said ended, that could be that there's a divorce being finalized in the near future. Take that as it resonates. I do feel like there's some kind of cycle closing here. Could be a marriage. But, what's interesting, as I'm looking at it, we have Hierophant, Ten of Swords, Hierophant. It's like a cycle to me that is like one is closing and another door opens kind of thing. Let me get one more there. Okay, the Three of Pentacles. So I do feel like the commitment from the past, when I was talking about soulmate that didn't seem to want to work on it because it was shifting in a different direction, I do feel like that's ending and there's another love coming in here. Okay. Four of Wands. There you are again, in the form of the Empress. And the Five of Pentacles. So I feel like there's both here. Now looking at this center row, for some of you it could be that you've had to decide to walk away from a marriage, a love situation. But if you did, I almost feel like there's three different groups of people here that I'm talking to. For some of you, this hasn't even happened yet, and that is what I feel most strongly. But now that we're seeing this come in the future, I feel like some of you are experiencing divorce at the tail end of this year, and that's something difficult you have been through. And if you, for some that are splitting up, some of you it's because this person didn't want to work together anymore on the relationship. Others it's because you found someone new and you felt like walking away from something in the past that had kind of just fizzled out. I don't feel like there was a lot of fighting or a lot of arguing or anything. It just kind of like the passion just went kaput in that. It just feels boring to me. And almost like you may have moved on for a new lover situation here. Now, if you are going through a separation or what have you, what's coming in is the finalization of that. So for some of you, that's a good thing that's coming, the final maybe legal, everything gets closed out legally is coming in. Let me get this Ace of Cups real quick. You have the Six of Pentacles. Could be a Libra showing up for some of you. And the Ten of Wands. So I think for anyone involved here, I think this message applies to all stories involved. There is a new love coming in. So if you're not going through divorce or a separation, this is probably, and you're not already single, this is probably not your reading. Because to me, this does not feel like a continuation of a current relationship. But I feel like what is coming in is going to be a lot more balanced. And again, that differs from what you've had before, where you were putting in all the work and they were just kind of like ho-hum. So, and for some of you, I do feel like the feminine energy in the dynamic is the one that chose to leave the commitment. Like that's showing up here twice for me. So take that as it resonates. Either way, I feel like the overall message or congratulatory energy here is that the situations you've been through have required a lot of courage. They've required a lot of personal power. And you've really spent a lot of time working on something you're passionate about. And that's helped to move you in this direction of this new potential love coming in here. Because we've got all this fire energy, right? But pay attention, if you haven't encountered a new love yet, I think they're coming in. I do feel like they're going to live at a distance from you. It may not be like across the world, right? But I do feel like there's some distance there. And they could be a bit different than your usual type. All right. Interesting, Taurus. I hope you found that helpful. Have a great holiday week if you're celebrating. And I will see you in next week's December forecast. Bye.